Crossroads Baptist Church has broken its silence. Days after senior pastor Kenny Baldwin was charged with 13 counts including unlawful contact with a young one, the church has released an official statement and removed him from all ministry responsibilities. This is Anointed TV, and now, let's get straight to what they said. Here is the statement, in its entirety, from Crossroads Baptist Church leadership. It is with deep sorrow that we share that a serious matter involving our senior pastor has come to our attention. Upon becoming aware of the situation, the leadership of Crossroads Baptist Church took action in accordance with our church policies and biblical convictions. Pastor Kenny Baldwin has been removed from all ministry responsibilities. Our first concern is for everyone who may be affected by this situation. We are praying for wisdom, healing, and justice, and we are committed to treating every individual with dignity, compassion, and respect. Crossroads Baptist Church is cooperating fully with the appropriate authorities and is seeking both biblical and legal counsel as we move forward. Because this matter involves ongoing legal proceedings and the privacy of those involved, we will not be providing additional details at this time. We respectfully ask our church family, our community, and members of the media to refrain from speculation and to allow the legal process to proceed. While these events grieve us deeply, they do not change our commitment to the truth of God's Word or the condoning of any sin or our mission to glorify Jesus Christ. As a church, we remain committed to integrity, accountability, and faithfully shepherding our church family through this difficult season with grace, humility, and prayer. James 1:5 states, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him." The leadership of Crossroads Baptist Church. Now, if you're new to this channel or just hearing about this for the first time, that statement probably raises more questions than it answers. So let's back up and walk through exactly who Kenny Baldwin is and what he's been charged with. Kenny Baldwin is not a minor figure in independent Baptist circles. He's the senior pastor of Crossroads Baptist Church in Northern Virginia, a position he took over in September 2011 from his father, Lou Baldwin, who founded the church. He's the youngest of Lou Baldwin's children, and his church bio described him as a dynamic and effective preacher whose ministry had impacted nearly every segment of society. That description wasn't just internal praise. Baldwin built a real national profile as a conference speaker, regularly preaching to teenagers and youth groups across the country. He spoke at Virginia's Empower Youth Conference, South Carolina's Lead Conference, and Teen Extreme Camp at Pensacola Christian College in Florida. He also served on the board of Veritas Baptist College. In short, this was a man trusted with direct, repeated access to teenagers, at a national scale, for years. That access is now at the center of a criminal case in Pennsylvania. According to a probable cause affidavit filed in York County, Baldwin met a 15-year-old male in November 2024 while preaching at the Teens Church in Warrington Township, South Central Pennsylvania. Investigators allege that over the following year, Baldwin sent the young male explicit images of himself, multiple times a week, using conversations about masculinity as a way to introduce the images. The teen male came forward to Pennsylvania State Police this past May. He told investigators Baldwin had also used a specific, degrading nickname for himself in these exchanges. According to the affidavit, Baldwin instructed the young male to communicate through WhatsApp, an app with encryption and disappearing messages, and would allegedly check first whether the coast was clear before sending anything. Baldwin was interviewed by police in June. According to the affidavit, he admitted to sending images to the young male, but claimed he'd lost track of the young male's age because, in his words, the young male acted so much older. He also allegedly admitted to exposing himself to the victim in person on 3 separate occasions, in 3 different states. Investigators have stated publicly that they believe there may be additional victims. Baldwin now faces 2 felony counts of unlawful contact with a young one, 1 felony count of corruption of young ones, and several misdemeanor counts including indecent exposure and open lewdness. He was arraigned last week and posted $80,000 unsecured bail the same day. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for August 18th. In the days since the charges became public, institutions connected to Baldwin have moved to distance themselves. Veritas Baptist College removed him from its board. Other churches and ministries that hosted him have issued statements doing the same. Now let's look at what the church's statement does and doesn't do. On the positive side, Baldwin has been removed. That's swift, and it's more than we've seen from some churches in similar situations, where leaders have been quietly sidelined rather than formally removed. The church also isn't disputing the charges or attacking the victim's credibility, which itself is worth noting. But there are real gaps here. There's no mention of what internal safeguards allowed a pastor unsupervised access to youth for over a year without detection. There's no timeline of when leadership first learned of concerns, which matters, because Baldwin reportedly confessed to 2 people in June before police became involved. Did the church know before it became public? That question isn't answered. There's also no mention of an independent investigation. Whether Crossroads is bringing in outside counsel specifically to review its own youth protection policies, not just legal counsel to manage the church's liability. A statement removing a pastor is a first step. It's not accountability on its own. What matters next is whether Crossroads answers the harder questions. What did leadership know, and when? And what changes so this doesn't happen again with the next pastor who has unsupervised access to kids? We'll be watching for the church's next move, and we'll keep you updated as the case heads toward the August 18 preliminary hearing. This is Anointed TV.